May I now call upon the next speaker, Dr. Sahu, to his talk on graft fixation modalities, what's ideal choice. Dr. Chitta Ranjan Sahu, please.
At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to come here. Respected moderators, senior persons, and dear delegates.
Current fixation modalities.
The graft is harvested, tunnels are made. Now I will be speaking about the fixation modalities and what would be the ideal choice. The success of ACL surgeries relies on multiple factors, out of which the ACL graft fixation plays a major role in influencing the graft's mechanical properties in the immediate postoperative period, and this in turn decides the physiotherapy timing and the protocol. When we plan to do an ACL reconstruction, we have to take two important decisions. Number one is the graft choice, and number two is the fixation choice. From the biomechanical properties studied, we know that most of the graft options have a greater ultimate tensile load to failure than that of the intact ACL. So it comes to the point that the fixation is the weakest link in this whole construct system. What are the fixation characteristics? These are the three. One is the strength, which is the load that causes permanent displacement of the graft fixation complex, and it is measured in newtons. Second is the stiffness. This is the amount of strain or displacement produced by a given load, and it is measured in millimeter per newton. And third is the slippage, that is the change in position of the initial graft fixation at a specific number of submaximal cycles. So what should be the strength of our graft? So it should be minimum more than 454 Newton, which is that of the native ACL, so that it works with the activities of daily living. Coming to the characteristics of the fixation devices, various fixation devices have been tested for failure strength and the technique of graft fixation. When the patellar tendon is fixed by interference screws, maybe metal or bioabsorbable, the ultimate failure load is around 500 newtons. Similarly, when a soft tissue is fixed by various methods, maybe in the tibia or in the femur, it is around 1200 newtons, the ultimate failure load. So these failure loads are far exceed the 450 newtons safe early physiological loading of the ACL graft that is required. The stiffness of the graft is better when it is fixed at the aperture than when it is fixed at the distant site. Similarly, slippage is seen at 6 weeks of activities of daily living, where more than 2 lakh cycles of ACL motions are made. So graft fixation must be strong enough to avoid failure, stiff enough to restore load displacement, and secure enough to resist slippage under the cyclic loading in the first 2 months, where conversion from mechanical to biologic fixation is occurring. The efficiency of graft fixation is again multifactorial. It depends on the characteristics of the fixation devices, site of fixation, whether it is aperture or distal, density of bone, type, femur or tibia, and the type of graft. Coming to the graft tunnel motions, there are two types of motions. One is the longitudinal, which is also known as the bungee effect, and second is the sagittal, or otherwise known as the windshield effect. It depends on direct or non-direct fixation, level of fixation, and tunnel annulment may also occur, the cause of which is multifactorial. The bone mineral density in the femur and tibia plays a very important role in graft fixation with interference screws. The tibial metaphysis has a lower bone density as compared to the femur, and the force of the graft in the tibia is in line with the tibial tunnel as opposed to the femoral tunnel. So this causes the tibial interference as the weakest link in the graft construct system. Coming to a few points about the BTB fixation, bone plug healing usually takes 6 weeks. It can be fixed by interference screws, transverse compression, transverse suspension, hybrid system, and even press fit in case of BTB. The screw diameter is very important, and it has been studied that a 9 millimeter screw both in the femur as well as in the tibia gives better fixation. The screw length has no significance, and the screw divergence should be below 20 degrees to maximize the pull-out strength. So the bone mineral density is again very important. Because the density is lower in the tibia, a larger diameter of screw has to be used, and the intermedial area of the tibia is most acceptable for tibial tunnel placement. The advantages of bioabsorbable screws over metal are less hardware, undistorted post-operative MRI, decreased graft laceration, and easier revision surgery. Again, it has some disadvantages like reported foreign body reactions, potential for tunnel lysis, and breakage or drive failure. So in summary, interference screws in BTB are relatively easy to use and inexpensive. They provide aperture fixation, has excellent stiffness, minimal slippage after cycling, but potential of screw laceration of either of the bone plug or suture or mostly the graft is always there. Kurosaka studied that better mechanical properties of BTB grafts fixed with interference screws are there as compared to the staples or sutures. But again, we have to remember that the fixation side is the weakest in ACL reconstruction. Coming to the various soft tissue fixation methods, usually the soft tissue bone graft integration takes about 6 to 12 weeks or maybe sometimes 16 weeks. And this can be done by various methods, that is compression, transfixation, expansion, suspension, cortical anchoring, as well as hybrid. So soft tissue fixation by interference screws can be used both in the tibia and in the femur, but it has the lowest fixation strength with significant slippage over a period of time of up to 5 millimeter. This can be improved by the use of endoball device, backup washers or staples, increasing the diameter of the screw to more than 1 millimeter of the tunnel length, compaction drilling, and the precise match of the tunnel to the graft diameter. Screw diameter, bigger is better, smaller will cause slippage, but bigger may also cause graft lacerations. Hybrid fixation by suspension or screw is better. When we use fixation like in a fixed loop or an adjustable loop, it gives the maximum stability as compared to the slippage, because as the fixation is on the cortex, there is very less chance of graft slippage. Again, whenever we are using an interference screws along with any of this in hybrid fixation, the screw divergence should be less than 20 degrees. Soft tissue fixation require greater lengths when we are using for the soft tissue graft. 30 to 35 millimeter screws are required, and bone mineral density also plays an important role. So to conclude, the ACL fixation method chosen should consider immediate graft fixation strength and stiffness according to the graft which is used, surgeon's comfort, appropriate rehabilitation program, and the long-term clinical outcomes, potential future revision surgeries. So coming to the ideal choice, so following all the talk, interference screws in BTB grafts are considered ideal, and most probably the hybrid fixation with suspensory plus aperture in femur has the advantages of both and may be ideal choice when you are using a soft tissue graft. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to receive the memento from the director of Institute of Orthopedics, MMC.